your question.
Sorry.
For the language interpretation, we have today Russian available, and you can use the button interpretation in the task box in the bottom of the Zoom call that you can see here. So you can click the language that you would like to hear if that is Russian. If you only want to hear that, please click mute original audio. Yes, if we would have the Q&A in English, so don't mute the original audio during the Q&A, and the translation will be provided in the main room. If you, however, would like to voice your question in Russian, you can also do that. And Grigory is a Russian native speaker, and me as well. So we can also help translate it in the main room. Thank you so much. I will then give the floor to Grigory.
Thank you, and hello everyone. Well, we have 1 hour and a half. As it was already said, we will speak today mostly about different type of relations with business organizations and how to get resources from these connections, these relations. So I will start with presentation. We'll show you different videos and different working files of my team. For the last 10 years, 11 maybe already, I'm head of charity organization working in St. Petersburg and in Moscow, helping homeless people. The name is Ночлежка, which means night shelter. And last 5-6 years, I also consult different NGOs from Russia and from other countries, helping to build fundraising system, management system. So please feel free to ask me any follow-up questions after the webinar. We will have, in the new year, we will have also third webinar. And if you haven't been on the first one, the video is available. So just feel free to watch it and ask me any questions. So I will start, and please feel free to ask any questions. I will make every 15-20 minutes break to answer them. You can write them down in chat. So let's start. Well, just in within 10 minutes, we will shortly repeat what we were talking about on the first day. So please remember these few tips. It's really important to my mind. Remember that fundraising is not just the work of yourself. If you have just small team and you are head of this team and you the only person who is looking for money and other resources. But remember that all of the team should take part in fundraising. I'm not speaking that all of your colleagues should be looking for money directly, but all of your team should understand how important it is to be calm and polite answering phone questions or social network questions. All of your team should understand where to redirect people who have some kind of resources which are interesting for you. It can be goods, it can be services, it can be pro bono expertise, and of course it can be money. We also were talking that in charity sphere, in rights defending sphere, it's Happy, please turn off your microphone. Thank you. In our sphere, private donations and public relations are really, really very close related. When you or some of your colleagues is giving interview, it brings up the topic. It brings up the problems of people you are helping to, but at the same time, it helps you to raise money. It brings new volunteers. So I've showed you this graph. You can see this blue line. It's private donations. And this yellow one, it's how many times my organization were mentioned in media and in social networks last year. So you can see that it's mostly the same line. So it's obvious, but at the same time, we quite rare think about this, that the more times name of our organization and problems of people we're helping to are mentioned in media, the more money we collect and the more resources we get. So the idea, I will repeat again and again, sorry, is that really considering private donations, considering business donations, fundraising is not about money, it's about relations. And so in fact, we study here not how to collect money, but how to start and grow new relations with people and organizations, but organizations also consist of people. So how to grow relations with people. And the last, that don't expect any magic from me or from this fundraising topic. So this 3 key rule is that things take time. I've shown you, for example, this graph. It's how we were building up our private donations through the website. Obviously, we had private donations before. It's just because we have changed the platform for fundraising. But you can see that 5 years ago, we didn't have even 1 million rubles, which is like $15,000. And slowly, month after month and year after year, we succeed to build it up. But it really takes time. You have to do your routine work, and you have to be persisted. So please remember about financial planning as well. Remember that we raise money, not just to raise money. The final goal is to make our organizations financially sustainable, and it's impossible without these three general rules. So just keep that in mind and ask me any follow-up questions or watch the first webinar where we were discussing this more detailed way. So remember that transparency and trust to us is crucially important. Remember which kind of language and which kind of talking doesn't work, and remember what does. And in fact, we will come to this again because not the same, but many of these points work with people from business sphere. They also respect expertise. They also are looking for not for abstract problems, but for stories about real life, real people. They definitely respect professionals. They need, obviously, transparency. You have to earn their trust. So, well, remember about this. I won't repeat what we were talking about on the first webinar, because lots to talk about this time, but just remember these general rules. You can see here that last year my organization had just 7% of money in our budget donated from Russian business organizations. So it's not so much, but at the same time, it's this year it's $300,000. So we definitely not the biggest charity organization in Russia, but I would say that we are among 10 most well-known organizations. Юля, выключите, пожалуйста, микрофон. Everything okay now? Do you hear me? Okay, so you can see on this graph how our budget was growing, and here you can see that most of our budget last year's consists of private donations. On the second place, it's money from funds, Russian funds and funds from abroad. And on the third place, it's business companies. And you can see that it really takes time to grow relations with business and with private donors. But when you succeed to have your first ambassadors, your first donors, later on it's getting easier and easier, and if you work well, your first donors stays with you. Let's think about what we can give towards business, why business organizations can be interested in charity in the first place. Many of us work with quite stigmatized topics as drug users, as sex workers, HIV positive people, homeless people. So when I became head of my organization, many people didn't trust that it's possible to raise money from private donors and from business donors, because homeless people who is interested in helping them, most people, I would say, think in Russia that homeless people are it's their own fault, it's their own choice, but it's possible, as shows example of my organization and many other organizations. It's possible to raise money even for adult, not only for children, and even for adult with adults from quite stigmatized groups. So we, as I mentioned already many times, we need to earn trust. We need to be transparent for this. We need to build up our reputation. One of a few things which we really have. If we succeed that, then what we can give towards business is, in fact, PR and increase of income. For example, maybe I don't remember, maybe I've told this story on the first webinar. My excuse if so. We, for example, succeed last year in Moscow to build up relations with one construction company, which they build quite fashion houses and business centers. We succeed to invite them to be our guests in our shelter, and they were so impressed that it's quite good looking, it's clean. Homeless people are not all as they were expecting them to be, so they have seen real people, real faces, they've heard about real problems, victims of real estate fraud, people from orphanage houses, victims of domestic violence, and so on. So they were so impressed that not only donated to us money, but they started to give job to our clients. So some of our former clients now work in this elite construction business, and this idea to help us, for them, definitely it was just will to do something good in this world, but at the same time they understood, being business people and being quite pragmatic, they understood that they will get a lot of PR with such a charity case. And indeed, they were invited to many important for them forums. They were first time in their history named as developer of the year in the country, which is a big success for them. So really, I will show you other examples. Really, charity is and defending of human rights. It's quite popular, and you can make it the thing which makes your business partner unique, not just one of other developers, but the one developer. So HR goals, obviously, in modern world, it's more and more important for people, the reputation of the organization they are working in. And so it's more and more important that my organization not just uses me and earns money, but have some kind of social responsibility. And don't forget that the thing which drives us, the thing which makes us take a part in charity, and the same with our donors, the same with our partners. It's in fact opportunity to change someone's life, and it's the best way is to save someone's life, and usually the best choice for most of the people is children's life, and that's okay, that's instincts, and children have many years to come, but well, animals' life, adults' life, elderly people life is also a cause to take part in charity. And remember that financial support is not the only and usually not the first thing we can get from business organizations. Usually we start with donated goods, with pro bono professional help. It can be a lot of things, design, advertisement, audit, and so on. We can get services for free. I've wrote down here as an example billboards, because really we launch 3-4 public campaigns every year, and almost never we pay for the billboards in St. Petersburg and in Moscow, because we succeed to get them for free. Also deduction from sales and financial support. I will show you different kind of examples the next hour. I will make a short break to take a look if you have any questions already. Please feel free, and remember that any questions can be asked. There is definitely no shame in lack of knowledge. We are all learning, and it's not common knowledge what we're talking about. Well, if you don't have any yet, so then I will continue. I wanted to to tell you a few words about this laundry. This one we opened up 5 years ago, had small anniversary last week, and this one started with asking for expertise from this Prachka.com, from this company. They have about 80 commercial laundries in St. Petersburg, and 5 years ago we approached them asking, well, we are thinking about showers for homeless people, maybe in the future about laundry for homeless people. So maybe you can give us a few advices, what kind of machines we should use, and so on. And they were quite interested in answering these questions, because we didn't come asking for money. It wouldn't work on this stage of relations. We didn't know each other. But we didn't ask for money. We asked for their help, for their expertise, and many experts are interested in sharing their experience. So they started to consult us. Their director and owner came to our place, and it's always, if you have where to invite, then invite. It's always better to watch with your own eyes than just to hear some speeches. So they took a look. They were quite impressed, and after approximately months of different kind of conversations, this owner, he said, okay, I have 80 commercial laundries. I can spend my money on one non-commercial, so let's do it together. And till now, this organization pays for the rent of this laundry. Approximately 30-40 people every day come there, washing and drying their clothes. They give us these machines. They were not new, but they were working. So that's, for example, how your relations with business can start. And don't forget to appreciate. It's quite well known and quite well researched already that not asking for money raise money, but mostly appreciation and a lot of thanks brings you new relations and new donors. So take a look at this wall. That's our shelter in Moscow, and you can see a lot of business partners who helped us to renovate this building and to launch this project. And don't forget to appreciate, to send small gifts on birthdays if you have resources for that, but you don't need a lot of money for that. You just need time, resources, and free space in your head to remember about such a things. But it's really important. And you can take a look at our annual report. we have it in Russian and in English, and I can send it to you. You will see there that we tried hardly to remember everyone who was helping us last year, and we do it every year, and we mention them in social networks, in our website, and definitely in our annual report. What we have to understand about people from business organizations, and it can sound obvious, but at the same time, most of us came not from business, and we have other kind of background, and that's why we quite often we think different kind of languages with businessmen. So I would say that these people mostly are more pragmatic, not so idealistic as we are. They won't be shy to ask you concrete questions. What will happen when you will spend all of my money I will donate you? How this project will continue when there will be no money from my organizations? Why your employees should earn such amount of money you have write down in the budget? Why this amount of money, not less and not more, and so on? And you have to be ready to answer these questions. So you have to do your homework. You have to research what kind of business this organization does, what are their strong sides, well, anything you can get about the person who will make decision is important. For example, I don't remember, sorry, maybe I've told this story already, because this one is the repetition of the webinar we had a few days ago. I don't remember what happened that time and what happened on our first webinar. So short story, we were buying a minibus to provide food to people, and we succeed to find out that director of car store, he is a big fan of Boris Grebenshchikov. It's very famous Russian Bob Dylan, I would say. And this musician, he is a friend of ours. He supports my organizations from time to time. So we asked if he's in St. Petersburg that time, and if he's able to come with us to negotiations about discount. And the director of this store was so impressed that we get 5,000, even more. Ruble was more expensive that time. So $5,000-7,000 we get as a discount such a way, just because we did our homework well, and we succeed to come with the right person to negotiations about discount. Show to the businessman, to the person who makes decision, that you have some kind of strategy. You're not just asking anyone for money and don't understand what will happen next year, the year after that, but that you do have a kind of strategy and you do understand why you need exactly this amount of money. I don't know. Please give us $50,000 because this project, which we want to launch, costs 100, and half of this sum we have found already, and we need second half, and this project is important because of this and because of that, and such a people won't be helped without such a project, and there is no help for such a people, or not enough help for such a people from other charity or government organizations, and when we run out of this money, we will support this project such and such a way. So you have you need to have such a kind of pitch. If you will be able to show presentation, then prepare it, and definitely you have to describe what short-term goals you have now, and you need to describe and you need to ask how your new partner wants to be reported. So will it be after the end of the project? Will it be in a year, in half a year? What kind of documents they want? So show that you think about it. At least maybe they will tell you that they need any kind of reports, and it means you're lucky, you can spare your time. But anyway, I recommend to send once in a month or once in 2 months at least, to send photos, to send stories about the project which works with their support. It will definitely take time of you or your colleagues, but it's worth it. And that's how you build up these relations. And I will make a short break now. Thank you, Alexei. The question is if there is any difference between working with business in big cities and in small cities. Well, there is a difference. I would say the biggest difference is that the bigger the city is, the more money it has, more businessmen with money, definitely. But still, when I talk about business, I usually and I mostly talk about small and medium-sized commercial organizations. I don't talk about Google or I don't talk about big commercial networks, big commercial stores, because it's quite hard for you to even to find and get attention of the person who makes decision about charity there. And I don't recommend to start from this point. It's always better to start better to start with people you know, or with people who are known by your friends or by your colleagues. So I recommend to start thinking about with whom I studied in school, with whom I studied in university, who were my colleagues on my former jobs. And this modern world we are living in, it's in fact, it's quite close. If you know whom you want to connect, usually you will find a friend of a friend who can recommend you. And that's how it works. It's part of your homework. You should be recommended. It gives I don't know, it gives a few times more chances to succeed and to start these relations. And be ready for the refuses. Many of the organizations will say to you that interesting, but we don't have a part in charity. That's our owners' decisions. Or we have part in charity, but we already chose to help children with cancer diseases, for example. And that's okay, but some of them will be still interested, especially if you won't start with asking money, but will start with asking goods. And it can be, for example, food, which has short period of being okay. So in a week, this food will be wasted. They understand that they won't sell as much food as they have, and they can give it to you. Or maybe they will be interested on volunteering in your project as a part of team building. For example, we have such type of volunteers as well, because for example, they want that their, I don't know, PR team needs to have some such kind of team building. The HR decided this, and maybe you don't need more volunteers this time, but you can think about it, and I would recommend to think about it as part of the beginning of these relations, because well, we had stories when such a PR people were our volunteers providing food to people, but further on they were so touched and so impressed with problems of people in need that they started to talk with their colleagues about maybe donating money, or maybe they will support us as an organization in the next year, and they will think about adding such a line in their budget. Just a second, Sergey, yeah, thank you again. So answering your question, there is Planeta.ru. I will write down the name of the platform. You can start there. It's for Russian organizations. And talking about if I'm not wrong, it's global giving platform. So that's I think really, if you don't have a website yet, or your website is not ready for crowdfunding campaigns, so really you can start with global giving. That's a small screenshot from their website, and you can see that we collected there more than 1,500 donations and this amount of money. There is a similar platform for Russian speakers, Planetaru. So prepare your campaigns and start to raise money there. I think I will speak about the main principles of crowdfunding campaigns on our third webinar. I would like to speak and to give you my experience, but not on this webinar, because we mostly talk about business organizations now. Coming back to presentation, so don't forget to make your homework, and part of your homework is how to connect the organization I'm interested in. And usually you should connect head of HR, or maybe if there is just one person who is responsible for HR, or marketing director. I would say these two persons are most often think about HR goals, obviously, and about social responsibility. So find a ways to be recommended to them, start conversation with them. As I already mentioned, invite them to be your guest if you have already a project to show, and do not start with asking money. Start with asking for goods. This toothpaste, for example, was donated. Start asking for services. This barbers work for free, making cut for homeless people on in the yard of one of our rehabilitation shelters. And really, I will repeat it again and again. Do not think that fundraising is just, I will go there, ask for money, and maybe they will give me money, and I will then spend them. Think about this as about new friendships, about new meeting, new bright, interesting, social, responsible people. And for example, story about this shelter for 80 people, which we built up 4 years ago, I think. There was a nice guy who donated us, I don't remember, not approximately $1,000, and we always trying to look after people who donated us more than certain amount of money. This amount of money grows. we started, I think, with $100. Then there were more people than we were able to look after, to be in personal contact, and we increased this level. But the story is that my colleague Natalia, she looks every month on our donations, and she well, she saw that some unknown person donated us money, this $800, and she started to send him from time to time information about our work, how our project works, once a month, once in 2 months. And I will say that it was additional, definitely, work for her. And you can think that it's not necessary, because if you work with private donors, you should have automatic newsletter. So you should, some person in your team should once in a month or twice in a month write newsletter, and then you send this newsletter to many addresses. But as I said, it's reasonable to look after big private donors. And we didn't know anything about this person, but later on, he, in I would say in 1 hour and a half after first donation, he contacted Natalia back and started to ask what kind of projects we have in mind, and we don't have enough resources to launch. And that's how this shelter appeared, because he donated, well, he donated like $20,000, which was not enough for this building, but it was approximately 1/2 of the money we needed. And it was a personal story for him, and he even asked us to put this sign memorizing his granddad, which, as he says, was a great person. So that's and later on we found out that this guy was and is owner of quite a big business organization. But you can see that in this case, the approach was quite similar as to any private donors. So that's screenshot from our website. And by the way, if you are interested in details, visit our website. It's Homeless Roo. I will write down, and it has English version. Well, I will make other break in a couple of minutes, and I will be glad to hear any more questions for you, and it can be verbal. Remember that we can speak to each other, not just write our questions. So remember that once again, we can get expertise. For example, we now are having audit from big and famous company Ernst & Young, and they're making this for free. And if we will have to pay for that, it should cost us $11,000-12,000, and so we don't spend this money. So it can be donation boxes, it can be doubling of donations of the employees of the companies. Many, especially Western companies, have such an experience and such an approach. Well, I will make short break, and later on we'll tell you more about this sign. Do you have any kind of questions? Remember, we can speak English or we can speak Russian. So you can ask questions in Russian. Okay. Okay, just a second. I will switch on the light because it's getting dark already in St. Petersburg. Well, then let's continue. I will show you now small video, and we'll talk about it after.
Кофе. За чашкой кофе рождается музыка. Кофе поможет прийти к соглашению на переговорах. Кофе взбодрит с утра, когда спешишь по делам. Кофе – отличный повод для встречи с друзьями. Кофе – это воскресный завтрак с семьей. Кофе соединяет сердца. А еще кофе помогает делать добро. 20 мая Петербург пьет кофе в пользу ночлежки. Покупая кофе в дружественных кофейнях, вы помогаете бездомным людям. Вы пьете свой любимый кофе. Кафе отдает деньги ночлежке, а ночлежка помогает бездомным. Присоединяйтесь.
So that's also an example of kind of business donations, but here you can see that quite common are the actions where there are in fact three joining parties. There is a business part, there is charity part, and there is a client's part. And such an actions are kind of win-win, because we as charity, we get money. The restaurants and cafes who takes part in this event, they have attention from the audience. They have more clients these days, and clients, they just buy coffee or buy food, but at the same time they have a part in charity and kind of social responsible breakfast or social responsible supper. And as I already mentioned, many people joy and are happy to have a part in such an actions. And why I wanted and what I wanted to tell you about this sign, that we were thinking that, okay, we have, when we were starting this event, it was just 10 cafes and restaurants in St. Petersburg. And after, well, 7 years or 8 years, it's more than 250. So we succeed to grow this community. And at the same time, just last year, we understood that, okay, we have a lot of connections with cafes and restaurants in St. Petersburg and in Moscow, but not all of them agree to have our donation boxes. So they help us, but just once in a year or twice in a year, because we have these events not more often than twice a year. And so we made up such a sign, and now on many doors in St. Petersburg and in Moscow there are such a signs. And the idea is not just we don't expect that many people will read this and will go to our website through the QR code. Usually it's well, people, we all are too busy and too lazy to scan for QR codes. But the main idea is to contact people one more time, and they will read the name of my organization. And it's the most important part, because contact after contact, we make ourselves more visible, more famous for people. They will remember about the organization better. And maybe after half a year, when winter comes, usually they start to think about homeless people when it's getting cold. And these contacts will help some of them to start to donate to us. So that's an example of relations between business donations and private donations, because any organization consists of people, and most of the organizations work for people. Some of them work for other businesses, but most of the organizations work for people. And you can contact business organization asking not for money, but asking for reach of their clients. And also it's important to ask for goods or services which are related with this business. So when we come to Ernst & Young, we don't ask for I don't know, wood and some construction supplies, but we ask for audit. And when we come to this Leroy Merlin, we ask for goods for constructions. And also it's always very good when you invite your partner to have a part in some kind of an event, common event. And this time we constructed together with Leroy Merlin crew, we constructed such a small house of homeless person. It was built in famous and quite popular place in Moscow, and so many people made the photos of this. And it was important for Leroy itself, and they put, as you can see, their logo, and it was filmed for their crew, so it's kind of HR approach. Also, short story I wanted to tell you about this photo, that in fact in this modern world, everything in fact is closed. Any person can be reached, and any organization can be reached, and it's important to work with your volunteers, because also I was talking about your friends, about your colleagues from former works, but it's also important to work with your volunteers to understand where your volunteers are working now, where they were working before, what kind of connections they have. And because of this guy, Andrei, he was Noshlezhka's volunteer, my organization volunteer, and he was working in Google. He later on moved to Google head office, European head office in Dublin, and he found out, we stayed in connection, and he found out that Google has a special charity program. They pick a few charity organizations every year and ask the employees to donate to these organizations. It's for free, and people can choose the organization, and the organizations get this money doubled, because Google double these donations. So he Google invited me to Dublin. I had 30 minutes to present my organizations and to answer questions, and we got a lot of money. We got $100,000 because of this guy, and because of this one trip. So different ways how donations from business can look like. It can be money from the owner, it can be common event, it can be money from employees, and so on and so forth. Just a few tips about events with clients of the business you are partnering with. You have to announce it together. You have to prepare this announce, and you really should be careful about how you mention your partner. Do they like to be mentioned as the organization, or maybe an organization plus the name of the owner? Such a thing can be important for them, and if it's important for them, it should be important for you. You should talk through design of this event with the partner. You should ask them to use your logo. You should definitely not forget to use their logo on your website, in your announce, on your social networks. You should think about the logistics, because, for example, now we are collecting New Year presents for homeless people, and that's a lot of goods people are donating to us in Moscow, in St. Petersburg, and the logistics is quite complicated. So look at this thing beforehand. It's definitely better if the event lasts long, not just 1 or 2 days, because information will be spreading. People will talk to each other, clients will talk to each other, staff of the cafe or restaurant you're partnering with will know what's going on better. So usually if it's kind of event with clients implication, usually the second part of this event period is more successful. And how we will report to audience and to the partner. And as I already mentioned, so all 3 sides should take a part. You as NGO, business and clients. And people like such a story. They understand that they are not used, but business is taking part, charities doing good thing, and they as the clients of this business are involved. That's okay. And a lot of different kind of examples. We were, for example, collecting with a great help of our volunteers. We were collecting goods. People were donating goods to us, and further on we were providing them to people in need, to our clients. So it's written here that you can choose goods from the list, and later on you can give these goods to Ночлежka's volunteers, and all of the donated goods will be donated to homeless people. And at the same time, such an events are your opportunity to contact audience one more time, because definitely most of the people won't donate anything, but still they have seen our logo, they have seen our name, they have seen volunteers with logos of the organization, and it's definitely help us to fundraise money in future. So I will now well, there is a question from Serge. Well, first of all, I know that in many European countries there is community of Belarusian people who had to move abroad, and well, I think you know this better than me. I know that BioMedSoul helps with medicine, and later on I can send you the link. They provide, as far as I know, medical help for free for such a people, and well, I will share everything I know with you directly. Talking about your organizations, well, I will recommend to look for different European and North American funds who have now, as far as I know, special programs for Belarusian organizations, because this topic really was world famous, this story is, and so there are, as far as I know, there are a few different grants you can ask for. Also, I will share with you the information I do have, but also you should talk to other Belarusian organizations, because yeah, I know that it's definitely not easy, but it's possible to get money for Belarusian organizations now. It's, for example, it's easier than for Russian organizations, which are getting less and less money from abroad for different reasons. And at the same time, as I already said, you can ask for money on these platforms like Global Giving. Looking at the questions, I think that maybe further on we will have to do one more webinar on fundraising from funds. We'll see, because Roman, many organizations, as far as I know, European Commission, for example, supports community research, and in fact, many grant donors organization support community researchers. It's written directly on the websites of these foundations, if they support such a kind of activity or not. Well, I will get back to the presentation. We have just a few more minutes, and I just want to shortly repeat what we were talking about and to show you a few more examples. It's, for example, a story about world famous brand Lush, that they designed one of their good with our logo, and it's written here that buying this cream, you will support charity organization Ночлежка. And for example, here it's written that you will it was quite funny, because these three bars, they were giving free shots, I don't remember, of vodka maybe, to people who were donating sorry, a little bit tired to the end. They were donating, they were giving free shots to the people who donated winter clothes to homeless people. So they were collecting this donated clothes and then delivering them to us, and so on and so forth. It's different examples of the events when business wasn't donating their own money to us, but they were donating opportunity to connect their clients and to ask their clients for help. And obviously it's easier for business, especially at this period of time when it's worldwide economical crisis, and especially it's quite bad situation in Russia, and it's hard for business organizations to survive. So such an actions are easier to get from them than directly just money. So well, different ways, like for example, here it's written, it's quite famous Pizza Hut, quite famous pizza network, and so you can choose to order pizza for homeless people in St. Petersburg. It's written here, ordering your pizza. So it can be such a way, and also, especially close to New Year, it's possible to negotiate with business that, for example, they want give to their partners this New Year gifts, most of which are usually useless and nobody uses ever, but they can donate to their partners, for example, cards where it's written that we, sorry guys, we decided this time not to donate you some useless stuff, but donate this money to such a charity organization, and such amount of people will get help from this money. So that's it for the presentation. I will now switch to yeah, I will Gayan, I will find it and send to you, and can you please redirect this to Raman? Okay, within an hour I will send to you. Thank you. Dia, do you have any questions considering our relations with business? How we can approach them, what kind of actions, what kind of events we can have with them, and so on and so forth. Or should we...
Ну, у вас есть там, наверное, люди какие-то, да, все равно ответственные. Вы говорили так вот, ну, что каждый в команде должен там, ну, понимать эту, ну, задачу и заниматься фандрайзингом. Ну, наверное, есть какие-то ответственные специальные люди, которые вот, которых там в ТЗ входит именно вот этот фандрайзинг.
Well, now we do have such a people. The question was if we do have special fundraisers in our team. Now we do have, but when we were starting, there were none. We had just one girl who was looking for money from foundations. And that was it. But when we were starting, I was doing this, and that's usually how it starts when just director is thinking about this and looking for money everywhere. But step after step, I will recommend to, and that's maybe later on we'll have to discuss more this management part of fundraising, but I would recommend to look for money, first of all, not for helping people, but for helping your organization, helping people. So first of all, find money for salary of fundraisers, and then fundraisers will bring you more and more money for work of your organization. And first webinar, I was showing you that now each ruble which we spent on salary of our fundraisers comes back 9 or even 10 times more. So we get approximately 9.5, 10 rubles on every ruble which was spent on fundraiser salary. So just step after step, and
Супер, я вот за это и спрашивал, что стоит ли на это. Спасибо. Вы как раз вы ответили.
Definitely it's worth it. It takes time to establish this this fundraising system, but at the same time, remember that salary on your fundraisers, it's not your it's not money you say goodbye to, but in fact it's an investment.
Yeah, I'll just check. I think Olga, you had your hand up before, so I just want to. I know we're almost out of time, but
yes,
just want to make sure there's no burning.
I must. Okay, yeah, thank you so much. Input, thank you. What I think is about we have the Richard Branson, the businessman in the Global Commission on Drug Policy. He arrived the shuttle in this place. If we can, maybe it's a good idea to connect with him. He's a businessman, and they think together about how to arise resource for harm reduction and drug policy support fund.
Olga, but why him? Why exactly Richard Branson?
Because I see that our slogan should be a shuttle. This show the people watch on the CNN and another TV and another media channel, and we can organize the common fundraising campaign, learning by doing, input and all sub-region network to work together and arrive the activity.
Well, definitely the more famous person we are talking about, the harder it will be to get in touch with him. And with such a people as Richard Branson or Elon Musk or Bill Gates, it's most famous businessmen in the world. It will be quite hard to just get in touch with him. And it can take year easy, and there is it's well, it's quite hard. I'm quite ambitious, and I think everything is possible. And if you really strongly believe in the idea and you're ready to work on it, then go for it. But I would recommend to start with easier goals. Not just to change anything with one event, with one action, but step by step, making harder and harder goals for yourself and for the organization. And also, it's important if the person you want to contact has some connections to the topics. So if you're working, for example, helping drug users, it's important to connect businessmen who maybe had relatives with such a problem, or maybe he is himself or herself former drug user. And it's not necessary, but it helps. So if you know something about Richard Branson in this relations, then it will help you. Okay, any more questions? Well, if not, then I wish you all Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And we'll see each other in the new year already. And I will do my homework preparing to answer, I understood, more questions about management and about working with foundations. And please feel free to send me any follow-up questions, which I will or answer directly, or I will prepare and I answer to everyone on our third webinar.
Thank you again so much, Greg, for sharing your experience and knowledge. And thank you, everyone. We may just ask people to stay on for 30 seconds longer just for a photo. But yes, we will be in touch in the new year just for the third and final training as well. And thank you so much, Yekaterina, for translations. It's definitely not an easy task. So thank you so much. Okay, Jake, do you want to take us through?
Yep. So yeah, if everyone who is comfortable being in a photo could please turn on their video real quick. Give everyone a second to do that. I'm wearing my hat because it's still early here and I have bedhead. All right, everyone on. All right. 3, 2, 1. Everyone smile. All right, got it. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good break period, and really look forward
Thank
to
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
well.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Bye.